Welcome back to Cooking with SPECO. I'm Sequoia. We're in my kitchen tonight and we're going to be making a Tex-Mex chicken and rice one-pot meal. Tonight's recipe is meant for a family of 4 to 5 people, but it could also be used as a meal prep plan if it's just maybe you or a partner, and you can save it for later. So it's a great meal, it's easy to make, and let's get into it. So tonight, the items that you're going to need to make the meal is pretty simple. You need 1 pot, so I'm going to be using my cast iron Dutch oven because it's nice and big and it's going to hold a lot of rice for enough people to eat. If you don't have a cast iron, fear not, you can always use something like this, classic pot, and then size depending on how much rice and chicken you're going to make. But like I said, we're going to be making for a family of 4 to 5, so a big pot is perfect for this meal. Some other things you're going to need is a can opener. We are using mostly canned veggies tonight, and also a spoon. If you are going to be using fresh veggies tonight, I will be using one. Get you an easy knife and cutting board, and we'll do that to prep. So tonight's meal is going to include, the main part is of course rice. We'll be using 2 cups of rice, or about half of a 1-pound bag. We'll also be using canned chicken. I'll be using the 2-can twin pack of, premium chunk chicken breast, a can of diced tomatoes, a can of corn, and a can of beans. So if you want to add seasonings, you also need chicken broth, which you can either use the powdered chicken broth and make your own, or you can buy like in the carton containers. Tonight I'm going to be making my own chicken broth. I use like a powdered, use this powdered one here, and salt and pepper as you have it and want it, and of course some chili seasoning. This one I got from the Wild Ramp, but a taco seasoning pack would work as well if you're just looking for something simple to use, and onion powder. So easy enough. That's what we're using tonight. You can season it however you want, but the basics are pretty much chili powder, some sort of chicken broth, and I like onion powder as just a classic go-to for this recipe. So let's get into the steps. What we're going to be doing first, before we put anything in this pot, we got to prep everything. So prep for this recipe is pretty easy. We're going to open up all the cans of vegetables, draining the corn and the beans as best as we can. We'll go ahead and open up this chicken too and drain it, and we'll put it in like a small bowl and set it to the side, or you can just leave it in the can. I like to take things out and just like fork it around a little bit, so we'll do that first. Completely optional. You definitely don't have to put it in a bowl. That's just what I'm doing because I like to look at everything and really get a good understanding of what I'm going to be cooking tonight. And it goes by quick sometimes just to have all this stuff kind of ready to go out of the cans. Sometimes the cans don't want to open. We are just going to dump the corn, the beans, and the chicken in a bowl, and we're going to set that to the side. So kind of what we're going to do now is we are going to start adding things to the pot. The best thing to do is I put my temperature for making rice in this Dutch oven, and even in other pots I usually start at a medium heat, a little bit on the warmer side at first before We move that heat around with the pan to get nice and hot. I do use a little bit of olive oil. Can't remember if I said that in the beginning or not, but we'll kind of brown the rice first once the pan is hot. For tonight's meal, we are using 2 cups of rice, so this means we're gonna need 4 cups of water, you would normally need 4 cups of water or 4 cups of chicken broth for tonight's meal. Since we've saved about a cup of tomato juice that we're gonna use 3 cups of water or 3 cups of chicken broth and mix in those diced tomatoes. So let's walk through this as soon as the pan gets warm. We're getting warm in there. Put in some olive oil. Get that nice and warm. When making my own chicken broth, I just pour this stuff in there like nothing. I would definitely read what the instructions are. This is from the Mexican store, so it's not even in English, but I'm pretty sure it's about, I don't know, 2 teaspoons of dry chicken bouillon. But if you're using chicken bouillon cubes even, that might be easier than something like this. That's a loose powder or a paste. And there's always the ratio for chicken bouillon cubes on the container. While the rice is browning and it's heating up, we'll kind of just stir that in, get all that rice and oil mixed together. Hopefully you can see that well. It's just getting a nice coat on there. Everybody makes rice differently. Please to all the people who make rice like every day, don't come after me. Make rice however you feel like. If you're somebody that's like, I don't want to make rice, you can easily go to a store, if you are able, and buy, you know, one of those minute rices. They make Spanish blends. That's a safe route for this recipe too. So I kind of hear a sizzle in there, which is my sign that that rice is probably getting warm. You might even start to see it like browning or drying a little. Perfectly fine. So we're gonna go ahead and dump in the tomatoes, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull out my onion powder. Season that as well, a good bit is fine. And then we're gonna mix all that in there too. Mix that together. I don't usually add a lot of salt to the rice because that chicken bouillon that I use is very salty. If you're somebody that doesn't like a lot of salt, be sure that you're checking out options for low sodium chicken bouillon, because these suckers can get really, really salty. Kind of mix that in there. Some people like to bring theirs to a boil. I'm not fancy, you know, I just kind of do it. Sometimes I won't even like mix it together like that. I just dump it in the pan. I did 2 cups of that, so we're just gonna do another cup because that 4th cup was the tomato juice. If you don't like tomatoes, I like the flavor of tomatoes. I think it makes for a good rice flavoring too. If that's not your thing, then you're gonna stick with that 4 cups of chicken bouillon. Okay, so now we are just gonna stir this all in. You don't want any of that rice sticking to the bottom. Sometimes when you are cooking in pans like these, I'm actually gonna adjust the temp a little. We are going to, now just real quick too, this is completely optional, but let's say you wanted to use fresh vegetables. Today I'm just gonna cut up 1 jalapeno. We don't like it too spicy, but we like a little bit of spice. So I'm gonna quickly cut that up and add it into this. It's best if you're gonna use raw vegetables, in my opinion, to put them in the water with the rice so they can cook down and get nice and soft and you don't have a crunchy vegetable in there. throw in a couple of jalapenos in there. Like I said, you can take those seeds off. I left most of the seeds out, just a couple to keep that spice factor. But now we're just gonna wait. We're gonna let this come to a boil. I'm gonna keep it at like a medium, almost to low heat until it gets to that boil. Occasionally stirring it. I always get a little nervous in the Dutch oven about it sticking to the pan. You might have these same jitters as me. But now we just wait until it comes to a boil. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a boil going here. Usually I'd let it get just a little bit more, but I think we're gonna get there as I'm rambling. Kind of what we do is, it really just depends on how tender you like your rice. But I usually cook mine for about 20 to 25 minutes, sometimes on that 25-minute side, just to make sure it's nice and soft. If you like your rice a little more stiff and tender, it might be a better idea to cook it more on that 15 to 20-minute side. But now we've got a nice boil, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take our lid to our pot. A lid is pretty essential. A pot with a lid is pretty essential for rice. We're gonna drop that heat down to a low temperature so our rice doesn't burn. And then just for safekeeping, so all that steam stays inside, I like to put a nice rag over top of the pot. This is not necessary, this is more of a personal preference, but that is what I like to do. So we're gonna wait, we're gonna set a timer for 20 to 25 minutes, and we'll check on this and we'll add the rest of the meal and put it all together. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes. The house is smelling very good from all that yummy goodness going on in this pot, so we're going to release the lid. I hope that you did not peep or try to check on this during the last 15, 20 to 25 minutes, however long you set your timer for. We're gonna cut that heat off. I'm gonna open it up, and it's definitely looking tender. It's looking really good. The rest is easy. I think it's best to just take our spoon first. We're kind of stir this around, make sure our rice is nice and cooked. It looks really good to me. I think some of those pieces might be able to go a little longer, but it's gonna get soft, and we're gonna put that lid back on once we mix all this goodness in there. Dump our chicken and bean mixture that we had going on. And now, whether you have chili powder or taco seasoning, we're gonna go ahead and add that now. So dump that in there. I like a really good flavor, so I'm gonna add a lot. And we're just gonna stir that all in. And we've got a lot of flavor in there. Those veggies make a nice flavor. We use canned veggies, but like I said, if you want to use raw veggies and even your own onions, you can put that in the beginning with the water before you cook the rice, and they'll get nice and soft. You can see those peppers are just breaking apart as I'm stirring that. And then we're gonna stick this lid right back on and just let it cook a tiny bit longer. I'm turning on the heat just slightly because that chicken was a little bit cold. And we're just gonna let that sit and get nice and warm, get that chicken nice and warm, and then we'll serve it. This can be done in a variety of different ways with a variety of different vegetables, or it could just be really plain and have no veggies at all. I like to use tortillas as a nice side, turn them into burritos or dip them. You can use tortilla chips as well, and this could be kind of like a dip for chips. Tonight, just because I had some in the fridge, we are going to put some cheese on there because everything is better with cheese. And that's it. We are ready to eat our meal. And we have a very yummy dinner. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, oh, I guess I should say too, this amazing meal that we just made, if you don't finish all of this, if your family doesn't eat it, this is easy to store. You can refrigerate it for about 3 to 5 days, or you can freeze it up to a month. It's a great meal prep. It's super good to heat back up. That rice is amazing. after it's sat, it gets that flavor in there even more. So this is a great next day meal too if you do have leftovers. So thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for more budget-friendly meals from SPECO.